Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. The Telerian summer trial drama continues. Oh my god, this is absolutely hilarious. This is so funny. If you have not been following the Telerian summer trials, we're halfway through, and not only myself, but so many different content creators have been ridiculing how Plarium has run this event, right? If we considering that we're halfway through Classic Arena, we're about a third of the way there. Tag Arena is only barely over 10%. Dragon only so far in. I actually, by the way, I do think that the dungeons being behind would usually not be as worrying as it seems, because we're going into a fusion where people should be doing this stuff. But the new fusion is so terrible and it's so difficult to do. I'm skipping it. It's the only fusion I've ever skipped. I think a lot of people are going to be skipping this one. I'm going to be really surprised if people actually do the fusion. So these dungeons might not increase as much as we think. Ice Golem, the requirement is really low. I think if people actually participate in the Ice Golem tournament, they'd win that. Fire Knight looks good. Spider looks good after CVC. Hydra is way off. Demon Lord's way off. Even Faction Crypts are a good bit off. What have they said? This is unbelievable, guys. Summer Trials homepage fix. The fix is incoming. We're past the halfway point. Progress seems to be a bit slow. However, it might not be the case, ladies and gents. It might not be the case. Let me explain in more detail. When creating the milestones, we used our statistical data to make sure they are that they are attainable. So, having noticed... Actually, let me just note that having noticed that the progress in the trials has been kind of sluggish, we started looking into possible issues. Double checked the numbers on the server, compared them with those on the counter, discovered a significant difference between the two. What actually happened? The system that dispatches points from server data to the page with the counter became overwhelmed by the new data almost right from the start of the activity, so a hefty number of points got stuck in a buffer. Waiting to be... They're stuck in the buffer, guys. The points are stuck in the buffer. They're stuck in the buffer. Can you believe it? They should try reversing the polarity. They should try inverting the warp fields. Reflectors. Shields to maximum. Oh my god. So yeah, obviously, as you can tell, I am pretty skeptical about it. In my opinion, this is... it could be true. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe someone in web design would be like, actually, this is a common thing. I don't know. To me, this seems like, a technobabble explanation for, well, shit, this is not going the way we want it to. We're going to start to artificially inflate this stuff, but don't think that we are. What happens next? We're preparing a patch that should greatly increase the amount of data the system can process, so all the points will start counting much faster. Meanwhile, the progress bars on the web page might freeze for a couple of days or so after the patch is active. It will help the system work through all the buffered data in no time before returning to the steady pace of the actual activity speed. I figure what they're going to do, they're going to go in and they're just going to add a whole bunch of extra points so that we can actually potentially make it. I wonder if they'll add enough so that we will easily make it, or are they still going to expect us to do more? Will they still leave us like at 90%, so we still have to do more? It's hilarious. Yeah, the number of points... Oh, here we go. Important note, the number of points might still be insufficient to reach the milestones. So hurry up and contribute to the thing. Now, here, I actually think this bit is fair. Again, I think that's kind of nonsense, but I do agree with this. This is a new format for us, and technical mishaps can occur. Here's the thing, like, I can understand them making some mistakes with this. I think it was a little too much, to be honest, but I can definitely forgive some mistakes. That's fine. Let me explain to you what I think happened. Let me explain to you what I think is actually going on here. So, oops, wrong button. Here we go. This is the button. What I think actually happened is that Plarium applied a theory that they use in a lot of other designs in the game. They applied a theory to this and it completely didn't work. There was a disconnect. What is that theory? Well, basically, when you look at fusion events in the game, when you look at CVC in the game, right? Tournaments, the events, the Path of Light, what is the design of all of these things? Well, the design of all of these things is, hey, cool, look at this cool reward that you're going to get for doing it. Sacred Shard at the end of the Path of Light. A legendary champion at the end of the fusion. To get this shiny thing, to get this thing that looks good, you go and you need to play way more than you would have played if that reward wasn't there. Yeah? That's what these things are designed to do. That's why we have the fusion and stuff in the game. Is number one, it's fun. I mean, that's the positive side of it. It can be really fun and really rewarding. But it's about dangling that carrot to get people to do much more than they would. I know, like, when you start out doing fusions, like right now, I don't find fusions that bad. But when I started out, I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm grinding nonstop. I have to play the game way more than I would have played before. Ever heard people say fusions are a crazy grind? CVC is a crazy grind. It is a crazy grind. That's what they do. I think they applied the same methodology here. That they came in and they put Tag Arena. You can unlock the opportunity. Not even you will get a legendary skill tome. But if the whole community comes together, you can unlock a legendary skill tome in a champion training event. Slightly missing the point as well that there often are legendary skill tomes in champion training events anyway, so it's not that special. But basically they said, I think they sat down and said, okay, they are way short of this. No one does Tag Arena this much. But if we put a legendary skill tome as the reward, people are going to go and they're going to grind this like crazy. They're going to go nuts for this, and they're going to put in so much work, because that's what happens in CVC. We put these rewards in CVC, and they go crazy grinding that stuff out. We put these rewards in like Fusion, they go crazy. We put them in events, they go crazy. If we put them in here, they'll do the same thing. I think that's the big thing that they did here. I think that's what's happened. Is that they came in and they've said, these are not like freebie events. Like my theory was that these are supposed to be freebie events. It's supposed to be a fun sense of community event. The purpose of this is to have a sense of community, of playing with others in the game, which is not only good for the players, it's good for the developers, because a sense of community makes people enjoy the game more, stick around more, become more involved in the community. It's a good thing. So I thought these would be free. These would be free wins, basically. They just give you free wins just to build community. I don't think they did that at all. I don't think they did that. Again, I think, just like CVC, that this is designed as, basically a carrot to make you play way more. And it's completely failed. It's really not grab people. I think it's clear why it's not grab people. Number one, it's not, I do this for my reward. It's everybody does this. So there's much less impetus on any individual to actually contribute. Like, it's just, your contribution is completely meaningless. Like, it's if you were grinding Dragon nonstop this whole 2 weeks, this bar for you would not look any different than it does now. Like, because you're such a small part of this, it doesn't really matter. And yeah, also the fact that you don't get the rewards yourself directly. It's not in game either. This stuff is not visible in game. You have to complete a training event after this. I think that's a big mistake. So I think that's definitely part of it. I think another part that might be something for it as well is PLARIUM. I feel they do push things a lot. They push things a lot. It's something I call the double it effect that I think PLARIUM does a lot, which is they take they go, what is the maximum? So for example, with skins, I think they came in with skins. So they said, what is the maximum anyone would ever pay for a skin? Because that's what I assumed that they would do, all right? And I would have said maybe 20, 25 euro is the max anyone would ever pay for a skin. PLARIUM said, cool, that's the maximum. Double it. 40, 50 euro skins were the first set of skins. I think that's what they try to do. Or they take, well, how many shards do you need for this? How much should this pack be? What's the max anyone would pay for this? That's the maximum? Okay, double it. I think they do that as well. And I think that's probably what they did with some of these events. Like, we look at Demon Lord, for example, and it doesn't make any sense for them to do this. But again, I think they said, the maximum the people are really going to do. And then they doubled it with some weird expectation that we'd somehow do more. Of course, Demon Lord is quite limited per day. I think same thing with Hydra. Like, if these bars were half the size, and you imagine that we're halfway through the time, it starts to make a lot more sense, doesn't it? Faction Crypts are actually a bit ahead of schedule, but certainly Demon Lord and Hydra look fairly on schedule. Spider's Den, there was 2 CVCs, so that's why that's so high. Fire Knight's actually been pretty damn good. Again, if this bar was half the size, Ice Golem would look pretty on track. Dragon a little bit ahead of schedule. Tag Arena would still be way behind, but it would look more normal. Classic Arena, we would have, we definitely would be on course to finish it. I think there's these two effects in it. I think it's the two things come together. It's the what is the maximum that we should set, okay, and then let's double it. And why are we doing that? It's because this will the carrot of the reward is going to make players just invest way more into this game in terms of their time and effort. That is good for us. And yeah, like I said, I think it's a complete misread. I think it's a complete misread of what this sort of event should be and what it does. Hopefully it will make them change. Hopefully the lashback, the terrible press it's gotten, literally everyone ripping them apart, will make them reconsider. I think there's also a big possibility they didn't think it would be this popular. You know, clearly, you know, when I'm talking about the advantages of these community building events, the amount of lashback this has gotten, how invested the community is and how terrible this is, I think represents that the community really wants these good community events that aren't crazy grinds like CVC, but just fun community building. Play your part, see how your friends are doing, and get some nice rewards out of it, just some free wins. That's all about the community and what community members are doing. People want that. It's really fun. It's great. I've seen it in other games and it's always worked great. I think people really want that. I think PLARIUM is again surprised. They probably didn't expect this to get as much attention as it did. And yeah, it's crazy. So there you go, guys. The drama continues. So yeah, I think there's a good chance we finish all of these. I mean, let's be real. Epic Skill Time's looking good. The Taggery, they're going to have to mega crank it up. They could come. They could have some great lies. Here you go. If you want more lies, I can throw them some lies here at the end of the video so we can get this legendary skill tome. Here you go. Here's one. In Tag Arena, we were only counting 1 win instead of the 3 wins for people participating. Or here's an even better one if you want to up it even more. We were only counting people that won all 3 of their Tag Arena offense battles. For some reason, it wasn't counting losses. So half of the battles weren't even counted. There's a whole bunch. There's so many lies we could come up with to boost this up. It's great. It's great. Let's be creative. Be creative in the comments. Anyway, look, guys, having some fun with this one, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, like I said, I love the concept of this event. I think if it's done well as a fun community thing, it's got great potential. We'll see. Will they learn their lessons properly, or will the lesson tragically get stuck in the buffer? Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.